What's up everyone? I'm Perumal Jagan. I'm doing really great. Hope you too. Today, I neither gonna take on any CTF challenge nor gonna explain a technical concept. Instead, I'm gonna do something different. We are going to learn about a recent security incident. I found it was a quite interesting incident, especially the recruiters and human resource managers out there will find this video useful. I hope that. And let me explain what really happened in that incident and how it went wrong and how the technology assisted the attacker to get into their network. I'll try to explain that. It was actually a social engineering kind of attack. So without further ado, let me explain that in detail. Now you are looking at a blog from Bleeping Computer, and you can see its title: No Before Mistakenly Hires North Korean Hackers and Faces Info Stealer Attack. And yes, actually a company mistakenly recruited a hacker, a state-backed hacker, I suppose. Uh, they actually, the end of the investigation showed that the attacker potentially be in North Korea, and they belongs to a North Korean state-sponsored hacker group. Okay, so let's read through this news. American cybersecurity company No Before says, actually it was a cybersecurity company who became a victim, says a person it recently hired, a principal software engineer, turned out to be a North Korean state actor who attempted to install information stealing malware on its devices. Actually, this one line itself was very interesting. That's why I decided to make this as a video, just to create the awareness among my subscribers. The firm detected and stopped the malicious actions in time, so no data breach occurred. So they clarified that there were no further data breach. They initially contained it. However, they contained it in the initial stages. However, the case highlights the continued threat posed by North Korean threat actors, posing it as IT staff, something that the FBI has warned about repeatedly since 2023. The DPRK, they mean the North Korea. The DPRK maintains a highly organized army of IT workers who obscure their true identities to get hired by hundreds of American firms. Not only North Korea, even countries like Russia, China, they have state sponsor. They're actually their government sponsors to hackers, and they make them to hack the other country's critical systems. So that's their job. And the revenue generated by these workers are used to fund the country's weapons program and cyber operations, as well as to collect intelligence. AI assisted masking, and I need to inform this very clearly. The AI actually played a major role in this attack, in this social engineering exploitation. Before hiring the threat actor, No Before performed background check. Actually, they performed all the processes thoroughly. They actually did the background check. They actually conducted the interview. They conducted the interview over the video conference, and they did every process perfectly, even though the attacker managed to use the technology effectively, and they were managed to get the trust of the recruiter. No Before performed background checks, provided references, and conducted 4 video interviews to ensure they were a real person and that his face matched the one on his CV. However, it was later determined that the person had submitted a US person's stolen identity to dodge the preliminary checks. And this is where the hacker outsmarted the recruiters. They actually used a true identity, but the identity that belongs to someone else, some other US citizen. And also used AI tools to create profile picture and match that face during the video conferencing calls. And they used the technology wisely here to dodge the security stuff. They used actually some AI tools to morph their profile pictures, and they just pretended to be that fake person. No Before, which specializes in security awareness training and phishing simulation, suspected something was off on July 15th when its EDR product reported an attempt to load malware from the Mac workstation that had just seen to send to the new hire. Well, this is when the company realized that they are under attack. There were some EDR alerts that belongs to that came from the workstation that sent to that specific hire. So that is when they realized that they are under attack. A NoBE spokesperson told Beeping Computer that the malware was an info stealer targeting data stored on web browsers, and the rogue employee was likely hoping to extract information left on the computer before it was commissioned to him. The attacker may have used this to find any credential left over from the previous session as a result of IT department's initial provisioning process, or to extract match information left over from an incomplete and improperly wiped laptop previously issued to different employee. Well, since it was an info stealer, it tried to steal the information that was previously configured. When the laptop was used by another user previously, they might have left some information there. So the attacker tried to collect that information apparently. Well, when confronted by the firm IT staff about the activity, the state actor initially projected excuses, but soon stopped all communication, and the hire disappeared after a while. And here is the message from KnowBe4. When these alerts came in, KnowBe4 SOC team reached out to the user to inquire about anomalous activity and possible cause. The specific threat actor responded to SOC that he was following steps on his router guide to troubleshoot a speed issue, and that's why it may have caused a compromise. The attacker performed various actions to manipulate session history files, transfer potentially harmful file, execute unauthorized software, and he used Raspberry Pi to download the malware. SOC attempted to get more details from that person, including getting him on a call, and that person stated he was unavailable for a call. Later he became unresponsive, and that was the incident happened. That was the conversation between the SOC team of KnowBe4 and that specific alleged threat actor. Okay, the post by KnowBe4 CEO Stu John Verman explains that the scheme involves tricking the employer into sending the workstation to an IT mule laptop farm based near the location the fraudster declared their home address on their application. Well, I think this is what they didn't verify. They didn't properly verify the address where they are sending the workstation. Investigating the employees to sending the workstation IT mule laptop farm based on the nearest location. Yeah, I think then they use the VPN to connect the device during the night time. Yes, exactly. Since they are connecting from North Korea, they connected and they used that laptop during the night time, as that's the working time. That's when the people in US would work. To mitigate this risk, KnowBe4 suggests the firms maintain the sandbox for new hires isolated from their most critical network parts. So what they recommend is to keep the newly hired employees in a separate group, isolated from all the other critical resources of the company, so that they can just ensure their authenticity. They can just keep all the new users for a certain time in that group. Then later they can prove their integrity, and they just switch the user to the group that has critical resource access. The company also says to ensure new hires external devices aren't remotely used and treat shipping address is inconsistency as a red flag. Well, these are all the advisories released by KnowBe4 once they were impacted by that specific social engineering incident. And here is the blog post from KnowBe4, and it's posted by CEO, and you could see this image. So this is the image processed in AI, and this is the image submitted by the threat actor. Okay, no illegal access was gained, and no data were lost and or compromised or exfiltrated to any KnowBe4 systems. This is not a data breach notification. There was none. So they try to clarify it again and again to keep their reputation alive. KnowBe4 actually needed a software engineer, and they mentioned, okay, what are all the actions they took for that employee's recruitment. They actually received the resumes, conducted interviews, background check, everything they did. But still, the attacker managed to use some technologies, and they were able to deceive the recruiter. and they sent the Mac workstation at the moment it was received. Especially this kind of issue happens when any company recruit their people for a remote opportunity. So what will happen? They obviously need not to interact with the employee directly. Instead, they conduct the interview on the video call, and they do the background verification. If the employee give the details of someone else, then there should be some technology to detect that kind of counterfeit or fake details given by the employee. Our HR team conducted 4 video conferences. Actually, they did 4 video interviews, and that person managed to impersonate as someone else for all those 4 interviews, and that was ridiculous. A background check and all other standard pre-hiring checks were performed and came back clear due to the stolen integrity being used. This was a real person using valid but stolen US identity. Yeah, if the user had used an invalid identity, that user would have caught immediately in that background check. But since they used a valid identity of someone else, they dodged that background verification as well. But the picture that the AI played a crucial role in that picture modification, and they didn't know this incident until their EDR spots the suspicious alert from that workstation. And these are all the stories that we already covered in this blog, and that's what they mentioned with the timeline. The attacker performed various actions to manipulate session history, files, blah blah blah, a lot of things. How to prevent this? And here is the preventive measures that they recommend. Scan your remote devices to make sure no remote access into those. Better vetting. They mean the better verification, the better background validation. That's what they recommend. And the resume scanning to prevent the plagiarism. I think that's the word. To prevent that kind of resume theft. Get these people on video camera and ask them about what they are doing, where they are working, and ask the cross questions. If they are giving a different address, if there is any discrepancies between their date of birth, their address, their name, any of their detail, then that is something needs to be investigated with much attention. So that's what they are trying to say. And what else? The laptop shipping address. That's very important. The company should know where they are shipping, whether they are shipping their laptop to the employee's given address. So that has to be ensured. So these are the things. And in this case, the background check was inadequate and the references potentially not properly vetted. And these are the things. The background process, the background check failed. The failed background check led to this kind of unprecedented social engineering attack. What to look out for? Use VoIP numbers and lack of digital footprint for the provided contact information. So this is another recommended stuff. And look for the discrepancies in the given detail. Sophisticated use of VPNs and VMs for accessing company systems. So these are all the things to be restricted. Well, you may see the picture comparison. They actually took one picture and they AI processed and made a picture, submitted it for when I applying for the job. So this is the stuff. When I heard this news, it was curious. It triggered the curiosity in me, and I read this blog completely, and I found it was really interesting, and it deserves a video to make. So that's why I'm making this video. Hopefully this video will be helping the people out there who are looking for an employee for their company. They can be vigilant henceforth to avoid such incidents. This kind of incidents will happen often in future, because the AI technology, it's actually growing. It's seen the rapid growth. So this kind of incidents will be common in future. So it is everyone's responsibility to adapt against this kind of incidents. So this is what I wanted to explain in this video. All right, I hope you found this really helpful. If you really did, consider doing all the YouTube algorithm, like, comment, subscribe, everything. I'll try to make more informative content henceforth, and I've been doing it, but I'll continue to do that. Yeah, I think that's it I wanted to say. Hope you all doing well, and take care. I'll see you with the next one.